Hey guys, just a quick update to you from the devs about the PTE and development progress, but I will also be giving in some insights because obviously I'm not allowed to talk about anything unless it's public information, and in which case we do have quite a lot of public information here that I can now expand upon because, well, as we say, I obviously am under a non-disclosure agreement. Even though I've been threatened to be sued before, lol, we've moved on past that. But essentially, what's going on in the private test environment is that it's a closed beta test server, which will hopefully soon be open. And essentially it explores new features where the devs are working really hard to actually make this game the amazing RTS that it is, hoped that it will be in the future. So like I say, STB, the guys actually designing the game, etc., are doing really good progress. As somebody who's already played on the test build, I can confirm that, honestly, it feels so much better. The devs themselves asked me, Lima, after playing this game, how would you rate the PT? I say, no, solid. There's obviously issues that they're working on, but like 8, 9 out of 10. And they were like, oh, okay, and how do you feel the vanilla game is, including the Baltics, after having played the PT? And honestly, the difference is so big that I straight up said, like, 3 or 4. So that is a huge difference. Honestly, it is more than twice as good, and calling it Broken Arrow 2.0 is a worthy name. So this is the information that we can talk about and expand upon. This is all just background stuff. Nothing really important. The test version includes a full rebalance of air defense, the anti-overkill mechanic, and aircraft timers. Okay, so what does that actually mean? We all know that it's so bloody unbelievably frustrating when you've got 4 5 pieces of air defense and only 2 of them shoot at the aircraft. Essentially, that is going to be rebalanced. And what does rebalance mean? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's the anti-overkill mechanic is going to be reduced, therefore more air defense is going to fire. So your probability of shooting down aircraft is going to increase dramatically, isn't it? And I think it's something that's really good to see in the PTE because this has been an issue potentially from the start of Broken Arrow, where just, obviously stealth aircraft get away with absolute murder. And a huge part of that is just, terminal guidance not working properly. That was a big starting issue. They have fixed that. I still don't think it works as well as it should, but yeah, it's more or less fixed. So the other big issue is the overkill mechanic. Now, it's a very good idea because when you bear in mind that, it's very easy to abuse. So, for example, if there's a big plane, like a parachute plane, with ECM, and people use that as a sort of decoy, a very expensive decoy nonetheless, 250 points for a C-17, for example, that can absorb all the missiles, and essentially the anti-air defense systems will run out of ammo. So that's easy to abuse. But I think they've actually nailed it with this. In the PT, they've done a very fantastic job of nerfing the overkill mechanics. So there we go. Aircraft timers. I can't give too much detail, but essentially, some planes will have longer recycle times, regeneration times, and some planes will have shorter regeneration times. I think people are expecting this already. I'm sure that somebody else has leaked it elsewhere. I'm not going to do it right here, right now, but I'm sure you'll be able to find out more information elsewhere if you indeed try to look for it. So there we go. But these are meant to make airstrikes more varied and give counterplay tools clearer roles. So what is an airstrike? An airstrike is an Su-34 and F-35. You are going to have more varied options, apparently, but I don't think that means in terms of weaponry. I think that means more in terms of you got to be a lot more deliberate with your airstrikes because who knows, maybe they're more pricier and slower to respawn. Again, that's kind of suggested right here. And counterplay, so what is counterplay to aircraft? Well, superiority fighters. We're talking F-22s and we're talking Su-35s. These are give counterplay tools clearer roles. Okay, I think essentially, I think fighters are going to be buffed is the suggestion here, isn't it? We have also revised the balance of cruise missiles to reduce their dominant impact on the battles. Lovely. Now, there's 2 ways of reducing the dominant effect of cruise missiles on the battlefield. Option number 1, reduce their damage. That's a bit ridiculous because a humongous rocket should obviously kill some guys out in the open field, right? Let's be honest, they're probably not going to do that. Number two is to increase the time or the price of them, which in turn means that they're less effective because they're obviously, the return on your investment of a cruise missile is going to be less. And I'll let you guys decide which option Broken Arrow are probably going to go down. Major changes have been made to tank stats, and functionality of infantry transports has been expanded to strengthen their connection between different unit types. Okay, that is the. Okay, let's talk about the tank thing first of all. I think this has been public knowledge before I was on the PTE, so I can talk about it. Tanks are going to be buffed, but in a good way. Not in the terms of being able to just annihilate infantry in one shot, in terms of tanks actually firing against tanks and lightly armored vehicles. I don't get your hopes up for one-shotting other vehicles, that's not Broken Arrow's style, but doing a significant increase in damage, so a tank cannon actually performing like a tank cannon, which again is something we've all wanted to see from the start of the game, is a very welcome change. So for example, obviously in the current state of the game, an MGS takes 3 or 4 shots, depending on a bit of RNG, depending on the tank, etc. And again, another similar tank might also take 3 or 4 shots. Whereas this is going to change things up dramatically, where I expect an Armata will still take 3 or 4 shots, depending on the tank cannon again, whereas an MGS probably 1/1.5, if they're already low on health or something like that. So that is going to be a massive welcome change against spammy vehicle tactics, which is something we don't like to see. The nerf to squad size spammy tactics, so like huge squads like the Marines and small combination, which is obviously a very well known spammy thing. I do it myself. I mean, it's easy. Why wouldn't you? And it's a little bit expensive, but yeah, it's obviously well worth it. So yeah, why wouldn't you use those tactics if they're available to you? The functionality of infantry transports, the next thing, has been, connection strengthened between the different unit types. I'll be honest, I'm not even lying here. I have no idea what that means. So I am on the PTE. I do know everything. I can't say some things, but here I just have no idea what they're trying to say. I think I could probably guess at what they want to say without saying it, but this means nothing to me at this moment in time. In addition, we are refining the game mode to increase the importance of key points throughout the match. Okay, another huge bit of information. Right, what does this mean? Again, we can read between the lines here, can't we? Because if you think about it and analyze what they're saying here critically, refining the game mode. So the game mode is obviously you get points for, so capture points and you get kill points, right? But this doesn't really, how do I say this without breaching an NDA? Don't sue me if you're watching again. Yeah, I think people have talked about other games, comparable games like Warno, where you get points for capturing objectives, don't you? And perhaps this is something that Broken Arrows is lacking, because there is no reward for holding an objective for 44 minutes of the game if somebody captures it on the 45th minute and gets all those points. So there is no reward. So perhaps we'll see a reward for doing that. Now, I don't actually know the mechanics of it. I don't know how it's going to work and how many points or anything like that. But I really agree with this part of the PTE where increasing the importance of strategic objectives in a military sense for a military RTS is a very, very good step forward. So like I say, by the way, let's just finish. We'll continue sharing development details as we move closer. Yeah, sweet, good stuff. We sincerely hope these upcoming changes will excite you as much as they will excite us. Yes, absolutely. I am actually genuinely so excited for 2.0. Baltics has been a bit of a, mixed reaction to the release. People were hyped about this, but look, if you're going to get hyped about anything, just please get hyped about 2.0. Now, I can't promise that any of the, actual bugs or details will be fixed. I mean, that is, come on. Yeah, I mean, Broken Arrow's got severe issues in terms of like invisible units and like blah, this line of sight, etc. We already know that they're not going to go away in a hurry, but this again, it is maybe the best way to call it is 1.9 because 2.0 makes it sound like it's a brand new game with all the issues fixed. It is 2.0 and it is obviously, like I said earlier, twice as good, so it kind of fits. But yeah, there will still be issues. It's just the actual core gameplay is going to be significantly more enjoyable. So there we go. I feel pretty safe in saying that I haven't given anything away, and that, you know, we can read between the lines, and I'm sure you intelligent people can also deduct a few things. If you want to write some more deductions that you've made based on this very, very short paragraph, which, you know, you might be right, you might be not, we'll see in the comments below. I think people know a lot more than Slytherin or Steel Ball alike I think people know. Just the word gets around, people leak it all the time, and sometimes people know more about leaks than I do, even though I've got a sort of inward track. Actually, I'm just going to quickly have to look at the comments, see if there's anything exciting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll comment on here in a second. Cool, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Love you lots, bye bye.